Welcome to Chalmette High School. My name is Annelise Cassar Tedesco. I am Louisiana's 2022 Teacher of the Year, and it is my pleasure today to welcome you to our Arts Strong series, where we will meet another guest artist with a passion for the next generation. This morning, it is my true pleasure to have with us my friend, Tyrone Chambers II. At this point, will you please welcome our guest accompanist, Mr. Tommy Zanka, and our tenor, Tyrone Chambers II.
Thank you. Have you all any idea what that song was about? Any guesses? No wrong answers. Does anybody speak Italian? Fine, neither do I. And that is because I studied Italian in graduate school, but more importantly than that, when I was in college, studied singer's diction. And so through a process of learning the International Phonetic Alphabet, you can transcribe any language on earth, any language known to man, using this alphabet, which assigns only one sound to a character. So they look like alphabets, but not all of them. Some of them look like funny shapes. And each one of them has only one sound. Unlike our language, English, and other languages as well, a letter can make a different sound depending on the letters that surround it, long, short sounds. But in the International Phonetic Alphabet, there's only one sound per character. And that's the way that you can learn a song in any language without knowing how to speak the language. And if you practice really, really hard, you can give a performance that's intelligible to a native speaker. So when I tell you I don't speak Italian, I mean it. I don't speak Italian. But without knowing what the song, what the text means, what did you feel when you listened to the song? Yes?
I felt sort of like intense.
You felt intense, yeah? Other feelings? What do you think the song is about? Without knowing the language, just going on the sound of the music, yes?
I think that it had a lot of passion and more, like you would always get drawn back, and then you'd come back.
That's right. I know you probably don't know this yet, but love can be a very intense thing. And that's what this song is about. Il mio bel fuoco. It talks about the fire in my heart. There's a lot of talk of arduous sensibility. And ardor is a very, very strong determination towards something. And so, yeah, basically the song just says, the love the flame that burns in my heart for you will never, never, never be extinguished. That's the gist of the song. One other thing I want to say about this is that this is a pretty standard aria. If you want to know what is an aria is just the Italian word for air, which is the English word, and that means song. But in the most traditional sense of opera, this is how an aria is written, with a beginning called recitative, which is dialogue or monologue before the actual singing, and there's not much accompaniment, and there's a lot of text. It's trying to advance the story, and it is spoken like. It's similar to speaking. Recitative means recited, and so when you recite something, you say it. And then after the recitative, you have an aria, which usually is a very short text, repeated over and over and over and over. And in this aria, the singer sings Quella Fiamma, that whole stuff, then something else called the B section, and then in true aria fashion, or a da capo aria, which means to the head, we're going back to the top, we started again with Quella Fiamma. So you have this A, B, A. So one theme of music, something different, and then returning to where we started. Okay? That's enough about that. Next, I will sing something in German for you. Your teacher, Annelise, and I thought it would be nice to perform music that you yourselves could be performing at this particular time in your musical journeys. So now I'll sing Widmung by Schumann. I have so much German in my head right now. Anyway, Widmung means dedication. And this is a lovely text. It says, you are my heart, you are my pain, you are my peace. The way you look at me it clarifies me to myself. You lift me lovingly above myself. You are my heaven. You are the grave into which I place all of my troubles. You are my good friend, my better me. Widmung.
In das hinab ich ewig
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So at this time, it's our pleasure to welcome to the stage one of our high school soloists who will be doing a master class with Mr. Chambers. So let's welcome at this time Brianna Enos to the stage.
Good morning, my name is Brianna Enos, and today I will be performing Amarili Mia Bella by Giulio Caccini.
I'm very moved by how much expressiveness and emotion you've brought to this piece so early in life. I mean, am I in high school or am I in college? You know, there are college students who wouldn't sing this with this kind of emotionality. So I think that's a great place to start. And for all of you in your music, what is music? What is any art form if it's not serving the purpose of conveying a message? So, you know, even if the technique isn't all there yet, even if your language skills haven't been perfected yet, no matter what deficiencies we think we may have, you've got to have this, right? The most perfect technical voice is nothing without compassion and emotion behind it. So, brava, brava. Please give her another round of applause. That being said, you don't want to emote too much that you lose the line in the music. I'll start from the end and work our way back forward. Towards the end of the music, there are a lot of, there's like there's not coloratura, but there's ornamentation, where you've got 16th notes and tied to dotted 8th notes and such. And you have the right idea. Clearly you know that what Caccini wanted was some pain, some crying, right? But you don't want to actually cry. If you simply sing what's written, then the effect will be made. See, that's the thing. The music is imitating. You don't actually do the thing. You let your voice do the imitating. This is text painting, where this person is in love. So try that again. Start right at the end, 4 measures from the end. El mio amor, right? And try to do it without actually doing too much glottal on the voice, but just sing the notes as they're written with feeling, if you will. Good. I'm going to have you do it one more time, and this time I want you to try to, this first note of the measure is an A natural, and it's a dotted 8th note. Sing into it more. I'm hearing, may I have an A natural, please? I'm hearing, mi amor, and I want to hear, mi amor. Right? Then you can do those things when you sing on the voice. So sing right through that note. Don't stop your A natural. Sing into it, and then just change notes with the voice. Okay? One more time. Sing for us, right? Yeah, you ran out of breath, and that's fine. That's something you have to work up. It's a long phrase, but I guarantee you it'll be very, very impressive. It'll be very impressive if you work that up, and if you do what's written. Don't be afraid of it. He writes the hairpins for you, so that is, it's gonna, if you feed the voice, it will be there for you. But when you try to restrict and constrain and sit on it out of fear that it's not going to all be there, we're working against ourselves. So actually sing into the line and do the crescendo and then relax off of it. And what you just did was beautiful. And so it'll only get better from there. We don't have too much time, so cut and paste for the rest of the piece. But I want to jump to the beginning, where I think it's so important to start off. Like we say, first impressions count. So you want to give yourself a good start, and that sets the tone for the rest of the piece. So if we go to the top, I see the text is written, Amarilli, comma, mia bella. And you sang through it. You sang through the comma, and you didn't make the phrase. So make it make sense. I'm not telling you that you have to take a breath, right? You trust your own judgment. You use your own common sense and your own instincts, but take the suggestion and see if it works for you. So my suggestion is, since the poetry has a comma, make the comma make sense for you musically. So, may I have a seat, please? Amarilli, Amarilli, mia bella. When you take that breath, it doesn't sound like you needed the breath, because you made a point to take a big breath, like your heart was so full that you needed it. Amarilli, mia bella. What does mia bella mean? My love, my beautiful, right? Bella means Bella is beautiful. So, Amarilli, my beautiful one. Isn't that how you would say it? Amarilli, my beautiful one. No. Amarilli, my beautiful, darling, whatever. Lover, daughter, niece. You know, I have a new niece. She's 13 months. This is Nima, mia bella. I love her. She's the love of my life, right? So try this way. Take the breath that you need. Professor Maestro will wait for you. Okay? You're in control. What's that?
I was trying to do the pause.
Oh, but you're doing the pause too soon.
Yeah.
The pause comes after the whole name, right? Don't cut her name off. Sing into that. It's piano, but you can still sing into it. Amarilli, mia bella, and then change the mood. Go. Good. So if you're going to do that, let the l'amour be more connected. So it sounds like one word. L'amor mi. Don't hit it so hard. Don't hit each of the notes so hard, but let there be the emotionality that brings it across. He has here written several accent marks, and I'd like for you to do those more because that'll serve the line. So you say, Amarilli, mia bella. Really take the time. You're in control. I know you're young and singing is fresh, but you've done a great job, so I don't think these are things that you can't incorporate yet. He is going to wait for you, and he's taking his cue from you. This is your stage, okay? You are here to tell us a story. So take your time and tell it. Amarilli, mia bella. Okay? Do that phrase and one more time. Accent. Do. Another accent. Brava, Brianna. Good. I think that's all we have time for. I just want to say one more thing to you, and that is, though you are not tall in stature, it doesn't mean that you can't command more. And I don't want the emotionality of the piece that you're singing to truncate you and let you like slouch over, because that's really stretch that out, stand up tall, like there's a string attached to the top of your head and you're pulling it up, right? And always give that, no matter what the emotion of the piece is, you know? Especially when it's in recital form like this. If you were actually on an opera stage acting out, then you might have to contort your body in certain ways to do the staging. But here in concert style, stand up straight and tall and long and just sing. Beautiful. Give her a hand. Brava. Great job.
Yes, indeed. Okay, up next, we have our next soloist, Sophia Lacurto.
Good morning, my name is Sophia Lacurto and I will be singing Zweignun by Richard Strauss.
Fantastisch. Sprichst du Deutsch? Nein. Could have fooled me. This is some good. I see she has her IPA here. Do you all have sheets like this on your music? All right, so there's some good learning going on around here. Tell us about the text, please.
So this piece is about all the struggles. It's very similar to the piece that you did. It's about the struggles of love and how it makes the heart sick and all these different things.
Kvela, yes.
But give thanks.
Give thanks. Ah, yeah. That's a word. I was drawn to the marking in the score right before you say, when you sing und beschwörst darin, it says religioso, right? And that means he wants you to sing this religiously, like you really, really believe it with all of your being. Okay? Let's similarly here, let's start at the end. This final phrase, you can make it if you take your time. It's got a double forte marking. You get to sing off the beat, which I love. Give me some good syncopation, right? You understand syncopation? When you sing off of the beat. So he says, Heilig, heilig, ans Herz dir sang. I want you to take your time there because Zank took the rest of it out of you and you weren't able to make it, and I want you to make it. And so I know what it's like to come from the heights all the way down into the valley. And the way you achieve that is by staying under your breath, taking your time, and not just like falling onto it, but use your consonants. So, Jung heilig, heilig, ans Herz dir sang. I think that R will really have Herz dir sang, and really sing into your seating, okay? Be strong in that. Try that phrase, please. 1, 2, ready, and sing. One more time. Now that you know I'm going to give you a whole measure, you can prepare for it and you know when to breathe, because you weren't ready. I want to say that to Brianna too at the beginning of Amarili. Really, there's nothing else for you to do but tank up. Ah, right? All too often, we see singers, right? Prepare for it. Prepare. Taking a nice, good breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, sing. One more time. That was better. Did you hear it? As better? I heard it as better than the first time she performed it. Heilig. You sing it twice. So that means what? That means that you can take a breath. That means that you can sing it differently than before, right? So there's no need to rush here. You can sing Heilig, heilig ans Herz dir sang, right? Holy, 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 holy in my heart, right? So, heilig, heilig. You have the time. Take the breath and give us a nice second H, a nice H on the second time around, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, sing. Wait. I don't think you believe me. Do it without tongue, without tongue. Just sing, heilig, heilig. One more time, that was better. I think I can get more out of you. Sing, heilig, heilig. I saw your breath drop, and I didn't see it. I didn't see a reset. So sing that, heilig. Let it go and heilig. Religiously, like you really, really believe it. I don't care what you believe in. Believe in this text as if you would give your life for it. Okay? One more time without. 1, 2, I want to see you inhale and sing. Sorry, I don't mean to be overbearing. I'm excited about this, and your singing, it's fantastic, okay?
Those teachers are very much like that too. It's okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay,
So she's used to it. 1, 2, 3, and sing. Am I making it up? Am I making it up? Do you hear it? Take the time that you need. I slide all over German because you can, within reason. It's the connectiveness in the voice. All of these notes are connected by one big looping line, and as long as you're sliding in pitch, then it's fine. This is what the voice wants. It's vibrato, it's legato, it's line, okay? Very good there. Let's go to the top and work on that. Just start right from the top and sing. Please. All right, let's stop there. Give me that full whole note. Habe Dank. Give it to me. I want all 4 notes. I'm greedy. I want all 4 beats. I don't want to hear that K until beat 1. And if you crescendo it and nurture it, then it's easier to do. Habe Dank. Your K's are fantastic. The Germans would appreciate that. Okay, let's do that first phrase again. I suggest, the text says, Ja, comma, du weißt es, comma, teure Seele. What does that mean? Yes, you know it. Expensive, precious soul. Teure is, it's sehr costly. Okay. So this phrase one last time. Okay? Give me that. Ja, du weißt es. Okay? Give some phrasing. Give some breaths. D, E, B, B. Think about it and take up that breath. You better sing. This is great. Wonderful job.
Those performances were wonderful. Thank you so much. And now let us have a wonderful conversation to talk a little bit more about Mr. Chambers. So, Mr. Chambers, my friend.
Tyrone, please.
Tyrone, please. Yes, indeed.
I always wanted to say that.
Tyrone, yes. Annelise, all day. Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Italy and Germany and the far-off places, or where are you from? Somewhere close?
Somewhere very, very close. I was born and raised in New Orleans, and I lived here until the time I went to college. And then after graduate school, I moved back to New Orleans for about 3 years before New York. So yeah, I'm homegrown.
Homegrown. We love that because, ultimately we want to inspire our local people, far and near. It's like you don't have to be born in New York to be doing this as beautifully and successfully as you are, right?
You don't even have to have grown up in New York. Sometimes I wished I had grown up in Houston or Atlanta or DC, New Jersey, places where you hear about these amazing arts schools. And even though we have one, NOCA, it wasn't as prolific when I was growing up as it is now. It certainly wasn't even a full day school. It was just a half a day thing. So I, always, not always, but sometimes I wished I'd gone to a school for the performing arts. But no, it's not absolutely necessary. There are many ways to skin a cat.
Definitely. Well, were you involved in this kind of performing and studying when you were in middle school or high school, or did that come later in your life?
Yes and no, or both and. From elementary school, I sang in choir. And as I got older, that meant different things, and it was layered. More was added on. In middle school, I sang a little bit of classical choral music. In high school, much, much more. I was in concert choir, and I sang in an extracurricular sort of community choir where I got most of my classical exposure, and that was the New Orleans Society of Musicians Incorporated. That's started by Patricia Salyer Seals and her mother, and there was the Salyer School Children's Choir, and I sang in that from 12 on until I graduated high school, and that was where I sang all of the classical choral works, and then in high school I sang in concert choir. So it just started to layer on top of your run-of-the-mill gospel and jazz and things that are more prevalent in New Orleans,
right.
Musical art forms that are more prevalent in New Orleans.
That's wonderful. Where'd you go to high school?
I am a proud graduate of McDonough 35, which I think now it's officially, or on the way to being officially just 35, which we'd always called it anyway. It's a part of the name change. But
right.
No matter what the name of the school ends up being, I'm a proud Ron Eagle.
Yes.
Go Ron Eagles.
Yes, indeed.
Maroon and gold.
I recently had the pleasure to meet the principal there.
Okay.
And just such an inspiring person.
He's
so
a hoot.
inspiring. Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yes, indeed. And it seems a wonderful supporter of the arts as well, which is so valuable.
He likes to sing.
Yeah.
He fancies himself a singer.
Singing principals are a great thing. A great thing.
That's a great double entendre. You've got to have singing principals.
You do. You do. I obviously intended. I intended to make that
Right.
joke, obviously.
It's a
yes.
great pun.
That's wonderful. Well, so how did you transition from singing in choruses and, of course, having exposure to jazz and other forms of music and then classical music? How did you jump from being involved in those choruses to being a classical soloist?
Interestingly enough, it was the Morehouse College Glee Club that drew me to be a music major. So when I went to Morehouse, I was declared poli-sci business major, double major, but I knew I wanted to keep singing. I had heard about the world-renowned Morehouse College Glee Club, and I went to sign up for a rehearsal or sign up to be in it. And when I heard these men sing, like 44-plus black men sing Brahms, Beethoven, Handel, all sort of classical composers, and sing spirituals and sing anything, I was blown away. And I thought, I don't have time to be a business major. I'm going to be a music major. I'd always loved to sing. And so then from there, it was just a natural progression where, as you know, when you study music in the American academy or in the university setting, pretty much one thing is being taught, and that's the Western European classical route.
Right.
You don't learn in school how to sing gospel, how to sing jazz, how to sing country. These are music forms of the people, and the street is the teacher. The church, the club, the bar, that's where you learn those things. So that's what was being taught, so that's what I learned.
Right.
And I liked it. I liked the idea of opera and the idea of art songs, taking poetry set to music. I really enjoyed it. It's much more my speed.
Definitely. I know you sometimes sing gospel pieces as well, and we have a lot of musicians who have many diverse musical interests. We talk about here that the value in classical technique, learning that technique can empower
Absolutely.
their singing of different styles of music. Do you feel like you've had that experience as well?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I sing a version of gospel that I like to call gospel classique.
Wonderful. Yes, indeed.
Where I'm not singing,
Right.
like that all the time, but I can. I grew up listening to that. I grew up in the black church, so I know my way around it. But the more and more I try to train my voice to do this, the less I sing other styles. But when I'm asked to sing it, I do sing it with that foundation, with that vocal understanding of how do I do this? How do I remain in control of my voice? And then I can sing it comfortably and I can sing it healthily, and I'm not like laid up somewhere hoarse the next day.
Right. I love that, Harmless plug from Annelise and Tyrone.
But also I want to say that, just to piggyback on what you said, that yes, a classical technique can inform your singing throughout the rest of your life. And there are plenty of singers who are not making their living as classical artists who have a proper vocal training. They're singing musical theater, some of them. They're singing R&B. They're singing jazz. You can hear, ooh, that voice was trained.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. No, 100%. And I love that you brought up the healthy part too, right? None of us want to be incapacitated because of a gig we just sang.
Right.
We want to be able to do something else or the same thing again the next day.
You want to be able to sing at 9 in the morning too.
You do. You want to be able to sing at 9 in the morning.
I don't want to,
but you can.
I want to be able to.
Yes. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's wonderful. Well, what kind of advice would you give? Oh, wait, before we get into that, let's talk about where you've been. So we know you're from here. You're Louisiana homegrown, but you haven't been in Louisiana recently. Tell us where you've been.
Since 2017, I've been living in Germany, minus the pandemic, because I spent most of the pandemic here with my family again. It just was like many people during the pandemic, they went home.
Right.
So I came home. But before the pandemic, since 2017, I've been living in Germany, near Frankfurt, and just trying my hand at a career there, pursuing possibilities there.
Yes. Voice teachers that we studied with certainly had great success launching their professional career in Germany. And
are you talking about the Throne
the
Myers?
Throne Myers, indeed.
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
Dear Ellen and Phil.
Phil, yes. To whom we owe, I don't want to speak for you, to whom I owe so much of my training.
I owe Phil a lot. He, for more than just vocally, he took an interest in me, and that is so rare. I'm dealing with trying to get representation right now, and the feeling is so overwhelming at times of being just a number to these entities, and they hold so much power to broker things for us, and it's almost like they make us jump through hoops just to put out a good word for us or vouch for us to classical companies. And teachers can be really expensive. Teachers in New York especially, can also play this game where if you don't sing well enough, they won't take you on as a student. It's like, well, how am I supposed to learn if I'm not taught?
Right.
And Phil just really took an interest in me, and he fed my soul for the short amount of time that he was my teacher.
That's
I miss him a
wonderful.
lot. He taught me a lot.
He was an incredible man, and his wife also just incredible teacher. And I think about. I'm glad you shared that experience about the professional part of this journey. I think that here in this art community, we assume it's normal that hopefully you all feel that we invest in you personally and care about you all as individuals. But it can be very jarring to go other places and find a different experience. But I was certainly very fortunate in my college experience to find a voice teacher who cared about me in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And what a privilege it is to be part of that legacy. Part of that legacy.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Well, as we think about students who are in high school now, pursuing artistic things, considering going to college, considering, should I be, what was it, poli-sci? Should I be a poli-sci business major? Should I be a music major? Should I try both? How do I navigate my current world in high school, my future world? What can you share for our young artists?
I mean, I don't know if I have anything to say regarding that. I mean, you've got to trust your gut. I think the goal is to find something professionally that you will enjoy. I know that the temptation is there to pursue something that is lucrative, that's going to make you a lot of money, and that's fine. I certainly will not dissuade you from that because, I think we gotta get what we can get in this world, especially as people of color, where there are so many things working against us. So I will not say don't pursue a career that's going to make you money. So, but if you listen to people of all kinds, especially people who do make a lot of money, they always tell me, at least, when I encounter these people in my profession, oh man, I'm so jealous of you. You get to do what you love, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you want to switch? But I think there is something to be said for doing work that makes you happy. And if you can find something on which you can support yourselves and your future families, and also be excited to get out of bed in the morning and go and do that. Find some way to feed your soul with your work. And if you can't do that, then do something professionally that you at least like or you think is cool, and work so hard at it that you create time in your life to do the things that you love, since you couldn't do them professionally. There are plenty of doctors, lawyers, engineers who, because they were put into music lessons early, are really good musicians as well. And although they are not doing music professionally, they have their own jobs, but they still gig on the weekends, and they got bands, and you ought to see these guys. They're so excited to just be in it for the love of it.
Yes, indeed. Wise counsel. Wise counsel, indeed.
I hope so.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. All right, well.
Just follow your heart.
Follow your heart. Yes, indeed. All right, well, let's open up the floor to questions, all right?
My name's Lily, and I love musical theater, a lot, and I just wanted to know if you ever had any experience with musical theater, and has it ever brought more emotion into your performances?
Good question. First, I love musical theater as well, but the old stuff. I love a good ballad. Cinderella, South Pacific, Carousel. Yes. All that stuff that I can sing like that. And for graduate school at OU in Oklahoma, there's a big musical theater program. So I got to spend a lot of time around and nearby. Yes, I will say that it does add an element of emotion to my singing because it's in my native language, right? So I sing in German and French and Italian and all that stuff. And I do study my translations to the point that I feel connected to the text, but there's no replacement for singing in your own tongue and the true depth of understanding for the poetry or for the text. So I think I bring some of that emotionality to the other languages that I sing, or even the other forms of music that I sing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sam. I have two questions, actually.
All right.
One, you live in Germany currently.
Yes.
Do you have any college recommendations for artists in Germany? It's actually, I've been thinking of going for when I graduate, and I just need some tips.
You're just gonna jump ship. You finish high school and get on out of here. All right, well, kudos to you, girl. I didn't go to Germany until I was like 27, 30 years old. 30, yeah. But I actually don't, because I went so late to the country. I was already past that academic level that, I didn't go to Germany to go to school, so I'm not really knowledgeable of the schools. But I will say this, that education is free or greatly subsidized. So all of the schools tend to be good because there's funding for the hiring of good teachers and good programs and pianos and practice rooms. I think more so in Germany than here, you might land anywhere and have a decent education. But look into various Musikhochschulen and maybe look into the major cities. You maybe want to go somewhere in Hamburg or Berlin, of course, but also consider Austria. Okay.
And then
Your second question?
Do you have any tips on also learning German?
On learning German? Boy. Yeah. I tried to get funding to go and study in Germany, just the language, just to go to the Goethe Institute. The Germans say, Deutsche Sprache, schwere Sprache. And that's German language, it's a hard language. But I guess start with Duolingo or something like that.
All right.
I really don't think you have a real chance at it unless you're also going to immerse yourself in the language. And it's not enough to just like spend a couple of hours a day on the language. Or even if you took a course here in the States, if you're not going to supplement that course with talking to German speakers, then you might not get where you want to go fast. I didn't learn German properly until I lived in the country. And I was studying the language for 3 hours for 5 days a week. And then when I left class, I was still in Germany, so I got to talk to Germans. And that's the key piece for me. But there is something in New Orleans called Deutsches Haus. So if you took a German course somewhere in the city, you could also begin a relationship with the people at the Deutsches Haus, and you could start to practice your language. There's also a church service every first Sunday of the month at Central St. Matthew's on Carrollton, where the whole service is in German. So these are the things that you could do to supplement a German language course.
All right, thank you.
All right.
My name is Tyrone Alexandra Payne, and I have a question. And this one's specifically for you and Ms. Cassar. How did you two meet, per se?
Well, we met singing at Trinity Church. Trinity has just, I think, a really long and wonderful tradition of great music making. And we were both fortunate enough to end up singing there together, and that is how our friendship began. Yes, thank you for asking.
Hi, my name is Alexa Cezanne, and I was just wondering, who was the teacher that most influenced you as a performer, and how did they do that?
Ooh, that's a tough question, right? Because we take so much from our teachers. I mean, I guess some people have one or two teachers their whole lives, but the rest of us, we kind of go with like 4 or 5 teachers. I had a teacher in college. My college professor, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I think that I could answer that question for every teacher, probably, because you learn so much from every person. Even the people that you don't gel with as much or don't have as positive of an experience with. I learned a great deal from those people too.
I have to say that my most influential teacher was my first teacher. I'm very thankful for him in my life. And even still today, when I go places and people compliment me on my voice or on this or on that, I can connect it back to things that I learned from him. My time at Morehouse was absolutely foundational in every way. I wouldn't be the musician that I am today had I not gone that route. So, Dr. Foster.
And I'm going to jump in and share that for me, we talked about the Frohnmeyers earlier, a husband and wife pair that taught at Loyola. And, I would share that they were so influential in cultivating all of their students as people and as performers. But I also would share that had I not had my first voice teacher, who was Mr. Bill Thomas, who taught here in St. Bernard Parish, and was a talented music teacher who was based at Andrew Jackson High School at that point, I probably would never have had the connection and those experiences. So you will learn different kinds of things at different points in your career, but the people that connect you, right? Never forget about them. And that's not a plug for me as your high school teacher. Mr. Thomas was separate. He was my first private voice teacher ultimately, and I was not ready to grow with him the way that I grew with my next teacher.
Right.
I needed the foundation that he laid
Exactly.
to be ready to have this extensive growth with my next teacher. And we grow differently at different ages, physically as musicians as well. But think back to the people that connected you to where you are right now. And I say that to each of you. Think about before you were here, before you were studying with us, that those people really matter in your journey too. And always remember to thank them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, my question was, as part of a minority group, do you feel that your career may have took longer?
As a part of your what?
As a part of a minority group.
A minority group
Do I feel that my career
took longer. Interesting question.
Interesting, because I've been dealing with this particularly a lot this last week and throughout the pandemic as well. And your question uses the verb took as if it's already
accomplished.
And it is not. But thank you for that foreshadowing. I feel like my career is taking longer than some others, or than I would like it to, for the challenges that do exist in our country for people of color and in the world. Because if it's there, then it's there everywhere, in all systems and in all organizations and functions. And in short, I do. But I still go on anyway, and I learn my music, and I try to sing as best as I can, and I try to embody something beautiful and glorious so that anybody who might be listening will not disregard my skin, but not see it as a hindrance or a barrier.
Beautiful.
And I think art's purpose is to lift us above all of those things that would separate us. Art wants to lift us above it.
Amen. And Peyton, I think the fact that you ask is evidence of the fact that the tides are changing for all of us. Most definitely. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Hi, I'm Mariska, and do you have any other musical interest?
I think I'm like Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2. She says, I'm like what you call eclectic. Eclectic, not electric, stupid. I do have other musical interests. I like ska, I like jazz, I like musical theater, I like world music, so Afro stuff. I love to listen to music in languages that I don't understand. I love the Bollywood stuff, or, Turkish people are all over Germany. So I like listening to their, to music in the Arabic language. I like pretty much anything. There's some country I like. I'm not crazy about country, but a little rock and roll. I love funk, Parliament, You know, Sly and the Family Stone, the Funkadelics, Earth, Wind and Fire. But I love disco, Miss Donna Summer, yep, Lola Falana.
Yes, indeed.
I just, anything that speaks to me, the text or the music, I'm open to hearing it. Ooh, you all should Spotify John Grant.
John Grant.
Well, maybe not y'all, but the adults. No, it's okay. You can Spotify him. John Grant. I'm so drawn to his music for some reason I don't even understand. But he's a queer artist, and he almost gave up on trying for a career. And he has some friends who said, listen, your music has to be in the world. So come on down to Texas or something. You can stay with us for free. We have a studio. You get your butt in that studio and you crank some stuff out. Okay? And we're so glad that he did, because John Grant is fantastic.
That's amazing. Can't wait to check that out.
Check him out.
Yes,
John Grant
indeed.
and Wolfpack.
Wolfpack.
Right? Aren't they? Somebody loves Wolfpack.
Mariska, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Tyrone, just to come back to what you said earlier, the idea that music and art are meant to lift up that which would divide us. It is true, and I think what a place to close. And we thank you for this inspirational and educational day, and may we all continue to be able to focus on art and music, and may it be the thing that unites us in a divided world. So our school system this year, the theme is unity. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful year to focus on that, and today to focus on that. So thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me. It's an honor to be invited.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Tyrone. And thank you all for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time for our next Art Strong episode, where we will meet another guest artist with a passion for the next generation.
Oh